Eric Burgess here with Music Marketing TV. Today we're going to be taking a look at Gatekeeper and some more advanced ducking, or I would just say more musical ducking. Not necessarily advanced, but it's definitely got some musicality to it. So let's jump right into it. All right, so here I've got Gatekeeper loaded up. It is on a basic preset. If you actually, give it a sec. If you click on the presets, go to ducking, they have a whole bunch of really sweet ducking algorithms in here, or just presets. So what you can do is I selected the duck eighth preset, and I'm just going to go ahead and play for you the intro. You can hear it very clearly. It's on the string orchestra thing I got going on. So if we take this off, this is what it sounds like. So this, and instead of it just making room, it's creating a big vibe for us. It's another common thing that people like to grab the ducking for nowadays in some situations, is to make those atmospheric kind of like pumping feelings. And what I'm doing here though is I am mixing between the things. So the setup for Gatekeeper is really pretty straightforward. There's one other thing I'd like to point out here, and that is I'm automating the time. So the time is essentially how fast this happens. And this is something that when you're messing with presets, I highly recommend you automate this. And then you can come in to your track and try out different times. So for example, here I've got a different time that I thought sounded cooler for this particular moment. If we just start right here and listen to that. So you would think I wrote a different part here, but in reality, it's just Gatekeeper. So there's a really, really nifty thing that if you don't do this, I highly recommend you do. It's very worth it. You'll come across some pretty surprising new phrases that will just pop right out as a result. So definitely consider automating this one in particular. Of all the parameters on here, probably my favorite thing to mess with. So let's go ahead and now look at sort of what's going on. So we've got Gatekeeper providing us with some lovely sidechain pumping effect sort of things. And that is on the main contact channel, which has, the orchestra stuff going into it. But I also have those, I also have a synthesizer here. And so this is actually an Apparillo. And if you're unfamiliar with Apparillo as a synthesizer, it's great for like very cinematic kind of things. And this Apparillo is just this crazy high sort of pad thing. And if we go to the beginning, you can hear it being layered in. If I actually take it off, let's just take it off first. And then I'll add it back in. And now I'm going to go ahead, let's add it back in so you should be able to hear it a lot easier now. So that all those e's and ahs and oohs, that's actually this violin patch. And right now it is being routed in via, the mixer. Okay, so it's coming in, it's going two places. It's going out the master and it's going into the main contact send, which has got the Gatekeeper and a compressor on it. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually automating the master send and the main contact send. So if we come down here, you'll see there's an Apparillo strings to master and strings to main contact. So essentially, I'm going to go ahead and let the Apparillo sort of just disappear now. Essentially, when this goes down, it is no longer being sidechained, and when pumped, it's no longer being pumped. I'm not really doing it with the intention of necessarily sidechaining here. And when this goes up, this is going to be just straight out. So this is going to be basically unpumped stuff. So it's no longer going to have that pumping effect on it. So you see, I bring it up as it goes on. So we start off with a much more tight sound. But there's especially even that that's right there at the beginning as a result of the Apparillo. That still comes through because I have some of it coming out the master because I wanted to maintain some of that. but it opens up and up, and then it actually just disappears out during these two spots. Then at the end, we come back to it, and I've at this point completely removed the pumping effect and made it just a straight sound. And we get quite a different sound here. There's another thing that actually happens that's also responsible for space that I'm going to show in another video. But it opens up a ton here. Yeah, so it's a really, really cool effect. And a lot of it's thanks to the fact that I am, pumping it, doing it different here. So I think it's a really nice call to the start of the beat, and to the end, it's just a lovely thing. So the next time you grab a Gatekeeper and you slap it on something and you get a cool rhythm, consider setting other things down that chain, and then, throughout the track, varying them in and out. It's a simple thing. But maybe if you're struggling for some creativity here, give that a shot. You might be surprised at some of the textures you can get out. It creates some really dynamic layering that can go on. Maybe you've got two basses that you've worked on really hard. It might be interesting to see what they sound like combined. And Gatekeeper is pretty amazing at being able to rein things that are pretty wild and keep them under control to an extent, because it's just straight up volume automation. So you could come in, you could try out some of the rhythmic presets or whatever. So there's some things you can try with Gatekeeper. If you do make something cool, definitely feel free to get in contact with me and send me a link. I'd be interested to check it out, see what you've done. Subscribe and hit that bell icon for future videos, and have a blessed day.